Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Rick.
Thank you, co-chairs. Is the Leaburg Fish Hatchery incorporated in this slide on page 26, or is that yet to come?
Co-chair Reardon, co-chair Taylor, and Representative Hayden. No, the Leaburg Hatchery is not incorporated in any program reduction package here, in that it was a federally funded facility, and so it was not. We did not put it through the state lens, if you will, and propose a program reduction option. We lost the funding for that facility, irrespective of whether it's part of a reduction package. We did have, and I think perhaps tomorrow, Fish Division Director Ed Bowles will talk a little bit about it, but we did have in our agency request budget, we had a policy package to essentially refund the operation of Leaburg Hatchery with state dollars, but that is not in this budget, nor is it in this reduction package.
Yeah, Senator Draw.
Yeah. Does the North Santiam Fish Hatchery reductions, does that come under the same? Is that the core as well?
Co-chair Taylor and Senator Draw, that is correct. The North Santiam summer steelhead program reduction is a federal fund reduction that is thus does not appear in a 090 package.
Okay, Senator Taylor.
Thank you, Chair Reardon. So what other hatcheries or what other reductions occurred that the federal government stopped paying for? Were there others besides those two?
Co-chair Reardon and co-chair Taylor, I'm going to say off the top of my head, the big federal fund reductions within the last year or in this current budget are related to Leaburg Hatchery, which the Corps of Engineers funded, the North Santiam steelhead production that Senator Draw mentioned. There was also some federally funded research projects in the Willamette Basin that were also defunded and are no longer funded by the Corps of Engineers, so they're not reflected in this budget. In fact, they were phased out about a year ago now. But I think that's about it right now. We're very cautious as it relates to federal funds for obvious reasons.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Why were they eliminated by the feds? Do you know? What was the explanation? Did you know it was coming, and then what was the explanation?
Co-chair Reardon and co-chair Taylor. There's a couple answers to that. So as it relates to Leaburg Hatchery, they one of the things the Corps of Engineers changed within the last several years is they told us that we could no longer be considered a cooperating agency and just get contracts to operate facilities for them. They're facilities that they fund. We now have to go through basically a bidding process. We're basically a contractor now instead of just a cooperating agency. So for most of the facilities that the Corps funds us to operate, they gave us a sole source contract. So we didn't have to bid. We didn't bid against anyone. First, Leaburg, which was a trout production hatchery, they decided to go down a pathway of small business, and I don't remember the exact terms, but they wanted to provide that production through contracts with small businesses, and so that production is now being filled by through private aquaculture contracts.
So in layman's terms, they've both been privatized.
As it relates to the Leaburg trout, yes, it's been privatized. As it relates, the research positions that were reduced actually went out to bid also, and so I think they're now doing that. I think there's private consultants that are now doing that work, so they too have been privatized. The hatchery summer steelhead production that Senator Draud was alluding to is not been privatized. It's just been reduced, and they're no longer funding it.
Thank you.
Thank you.